I am extremely impatient. I am. So last week I published a blog post. You might be going, woohoo, wow, you publish a blog post. I do that all the time. Well, I used to do that all the time, but not so much recently. And I'm so excited because it took me a long time to put together that I want to see, is anything happening with it? So let's firstly talk about why I published the blog post. Well, why do we publish blog posts? It's an awareness thing. It's answering or dealing with a specific issue that a lot of people in my target market would have with a solution based on Google Analytics. So I'm hoping to attract more of my type of people to my website. Secondly, I want to know, is my marketing working? So I'm focusing a lot of my time these days on LinkedIn, and on email marketing. So I want to know, are they working? And thirdly, there is a third reason, SEO. So this one I worked through an Andy Crestodina tutorial on creating more SEO posts or more posts to attract content. As you can see, I hardly get any traffic to my site. Doesn't matter so much because I make sales through it, but I would like more traffic. Used to get loads, but I've repositioned myself. So I need to get some SEO love. So this is an SEO post, but obviously I published it less than a week ago. I'm not expecting suddenly Google to have found it, to indexed it and telling the world about it yet. So I'm really focusing on the first two things. Secondly, my expectations, which I think is always important to set an expectation for content you create, because how else will you know if it worked or not? My expectation was, in the old days when I was blogging a lot, I would publish a post and within a day I'd have 50 views on that post. So I'm kind of going 10 would be nice. 10 would be nice. Maybe 20 within a week. That's kind of what I'd be aiming to get. So is my marketing working? Also, do people do anything after they look at the blog post? So let's go into analytics and see how I would find that out. I'm going to go over. I just have to move some things around on my screen. I may not be live, but I'm shooting this as if it's live. If I go into the reports, and you see under your life cycle, you might have business objectives. You're looking for, in life cycle, it's under engagement, the pages and screens report. And great, I can see all the pages people have visited in the last 28 days, is what I have it set for. It could just be 7 because I only published it last week, but I'm going to filter this report so that doesn't matter. We can see it here. It is the 5th most visited page or post on my website. We can see it's had 20 views. I did know that. I did practice this and go and look. But that's my expectation. That's above the top end of my expectation. So I'm really happy. And 17 people viewed it. They stayed on site for 1 minute 24 seconds, which is enough to consume a good chunk of the blog post. I'm kind of pleased about that. But if I want to break it down a little bit more, I'm going to filter this report. So I'm only looking at the data about this particular post. Now, this is a temporary filter. If I click on add filter at the top here, you see a nice little sidebar. It asks what dimension I want to filter by, and a dimension is something, as you probably know, we describe with words. So it's the page path and screen class. Start typing that in and it will come up and I can select it. Then select match type because I want it to be exactly that blog post. I'm going to choose exactly matches. The nice thing about that is it gives you a drop down menu, and then I can click on the button next to that and click on apply. Now we've filtered it. I've just got the data about this blog post. This is when I published it, and it's continued to get a bit of traffic ever since, except for yesterday. So that's interesting in itself. But what I can also do now is I can add a secondary dimension, which I always sounds a bit Doctor Who, a second way of filtering this data. If I click on this blue plus button and select, what do I want? I want to see the source. So the session source means the website that drove traffic to my website, in this case, to this blog post. Where did that journey start? So session source. And good news, because remember, one of the questions I had was, Is my marketing working? Is my LinkedIn? Is the time I'm spending on LinkedIn and email marketing working? And good news, I can see 6 users, 7 views from ConvertKit. Kit is the email software I use. And from LinkedIn, we've got 10 views in total and 8 viewers. So not bad, not bad. And also see it was worth me posting to Instagram and Facebook. I'm not sure it is. Well, definitely Facebook, because that person hung around as well. So good news from a marketing front. You can break this down further if you're using UTM tracking. So one of the things I do is when, say I'm putting the link on LinkedIn, I will put that it's coming from LinkedIn, and I'll also put the date that I posted it, so I can break down the content. Actually, my UTMs go further into the sort of content I posted, but for now, let's just look. I suppose I should say I've only posted it once on LinkedIn and once in an email so far, although I did send out another email today, and I'm probably going to post the link alongside this. So over time, this will become more useful. So instead of session source, if I click onto that, I'll type in campaign and I'll choose session campaign. And great, so I can see it was this news email that I sent out that sent the traffic from ConvertKit. And I can see it was this LinkedIn post. I used the European UK date range, so it's the 24th of July 25. So as I start sharing it more, I'll get more data about which is working the best, which date. I can even break it down by content, which is great. Third question I have though, when people visit this blog post, are they moving on? Are they just reading the blog post and leaving, or are they going to find out about the services I offer? Which is obviously really important. And to do that, I'm actually going to go into the Explore tab. These are the more complex reports that you can create. And from here, I'm going to start a path exploration. And you'll see what this does in a minute. Takes a while to load always, and just need to move my screen around a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Right, at the moment this doesn't look that helpful. What I really want to see is if I click on the Start Again button, and if I select event name and start session start. So when people start their journey on my blog post, where do they go next? Now again, this still doesn't look helpful because we've just got a bunch of event names here. So from there, if I actually choose page, path and screen class, which you'll remember is the same as we did in the standard report, we should see the blog post pop up here somewhere. There it is. So I published it on the 23rd of July, that's it. And we can see, yeah, it's the one about website navigation. Now, what's cool about this is if I click on that, it should expand to show me where people visited next. It will do it with other things. For example, if I click on my homepage, you can see, oh, and then they went to these specific topics. But when I click on this, I just get a grey box. And that means that it's not driving people any further through my website. They're just getting there and they are stopping. So now I need to go back to that post and see what it is that I could do to encourage more people further inside my website. So that's my insights for now, not even a week in. It's going to be really interesting to see how this evolves. It's also going to be interesting once Google's crawled it, once the search engines have crawled it, once AI has crawled it, whether I get any additional views coming from there. And I really crossing my fingers I did, because this is probably the most effort I've ever put into a blog post for SEO.